Hello, today we have an amazing client interview with Rohan Lingaraju. Now, before the program, Rohan had an internship that was paid around $15 per hour, but after the program, we actually got him multiple offers that paid in the high 20s, even almost up to $30 per hour. And one of the best parts about Rohan is that he had multiple offers through the program. So we're not talking one, we're not talking two. I believe he had around three offers in total by the end of the program, which is amazing to see. And we're even waiting for him to come back with some more because I'm pretty sure he has some final round interviews that are completing. So I love to see that level of progress. Without further ado, here's Rohan Lingaraju. So could you kind of tell me briefly, where were you? So how many internships had you done? What school did you go to? And what was your position before the accelerator?
Yeah, so I still currently go to Ohio State and yeah, I was going into my junior year. Currently I'm in my junior year and I was doing like a pretty local internship at like a small IT company. And it was going well, like I was learning a lot, but for like this upcoming summer I really wanted to like get like a bigger solid internship somewhere. So like, I was just wanted some advice and like help on like strategy of like how to apply, how to prepare for like interviews and stuff. So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, makes sense. And that one company you were interning at before, what was that, like Numeric Technology, something like that, right? Yeah, and
Yeah, it was just like a Google IT firm.
was it paid or was it an unpaid internship?
It was paid.
Okay. And what was the salary for that internship per hour?
It was 18 an hour.
Makes sense. And what drove you to book that consultation call? I mean, we get a lot of consultation calls, of course, but I'm just wondering if you can think back to like what actually encouraged you to reach out and find help regarding this internship process.
Yeah, so I mean I'd like seen like some of your like your YouTube videos and stuff and like yeah, I was just overall just looking for some like one-on-one like actual specific advice. So yeah.
Awesome. That makes sense. Now, talking about your decision to join the program, did you have any hesitations? If so, what were they? And then what kind of motivated you to, I guess, overcome those hesitations and actually join the program?
I think like hesitations maybe just like, oh, I mean, is it like worth the price or like just like stuff like that. But yeah, I think overall just like I think getting that guidance was like very helpful. And overall like if it's setting me up for like my career, then like I think it was definitely like I think it was a worthwhile investment.
Awesome. That makes sense, man. So, kind of going into your experience in the program itself, again, you were in the summer cohort, so you started a few months ago. You were in the program when it was more like very call based. So, like everybody was joining those calls multiple times a week, getting all the content there. So, I wanted to ask you if we go kind of like multiple parts of the program, how did you feel about the coaching calls and did you think they were valuable?
Yeah, I think the calls are very valuable. I like being able to just get like specific advice like while talking to someone. I think that was just super helpful because like yeah, obviously, you can get like the advice online or through YouTube or whatever, but like I think just getting specific advice to like, hey, I'm like I have an interview or I'm applying to this specific company, like what should I do? Or like I'm in this specific stage of the process, what steps can I take? And just getting like very specific advice was useful.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Talking about the resume and LinkedIn review, that's another part of the process that we do pretty early on. If you remember, your resume was already pretty good, but I wanted to ask, like, did you find that resume and LinkedIn review feedback helpful? And did you, I guess, like those changes you made onto your resume and LinkedIn?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, my resume, like I had already like done a lot of work on it. I think like that summer prior to joining the program, but I think like I was able to still improve it like a little bit and like make it, I guess, like perfect.
Awesome. Sounds good. And then going to those mock interviews, I know that's like another big aspect of the program. A lot of people come in because they want to be mock interviewed when it comes to behavioral and coding. We definitely did at least a few behavioral interviews. I don't remember if we did a lot of coding ones, but I wanted to ask you, how did you feel about the mock interviews? Do you feel like they prepared you adequately for that real world interview process?
Yeah, I think they definitely did. Like, I think just getting a lot of like practice, just like talking to someone and doing the interview, just made me a lot more comfortable with it. And now like I had like a lot of interviews like this semester, and it just made me a lot more comfortable with just like speaking and just like talking about like myself and my own experiences.
Awesome. Sounds good. And you just mentioned how you had a bunch of interviews this semester. So I know we haven't caught up in a while. So I'm just curious, like, how did your application process actually go? Where were you in terms of interviews last year? Did you have like a bunch of interviews? And then I guess what cool companies did you have interviews for this cycle so far?
Yeah, so I'll start with like last semester or like last school year. I had like maybe a couple interviews, maybe like two or three, but like again, like I wasn't prepared at all for behavioral interviews. Um, and like I didn't really know how to talk about myself, so I went into those behavioral interviews, and I mean I did them, and then I never moved past like to the next stage. So that was like the main thing. Like I just had no idea what I was doing. I thought I was prepared, but I honestly like didn't know how to approach them well, and that's why I didn't get any like results from it. But yeah, I think like after doing like that behavioral interview prep, I felt like really comfortable like talking about myself, like not only on interviews but like at career fairs and like just overall. So yeah, like this semester I had about like I think five interviews or six of interviews actually in the past week, and they all went like really well. And some of the companies, like the one I got offered from, it's like a local insurance company. It's called Central Insurance in Columbus. Some of the bigger ones. I had an interview with Wendy's, which is based in Ohio, but like obviously it's like a pretty big brand that's known. Cover My Meds, it's like one of the biggest. It's within McKesson, which is like one of the biggest like healthcare pharmaceutical industry type um like software companies like in the nation again. So that's pretty cool. A defense company in Dayton called Radius Technologies that works a lot with like cybersecurity and AI. Um, and then a startup in based in Columbus called Loop that actually came to one of our career fairs. They work a lot with like Shopify and like they're essentially creating products to like make returns easier. So it's very much like a software company startup um, sort of vibe. So like I think that's a really cool company as well that I got an interview for and did like two rounds with.
Amazing. Yeah, that sounds great. Definitely a massive difference there. And the fact that you had like 5 or 6 interviews in the past week, like really, really, that's amazing progress and super glad to hear that. I guess going back to the offer you actually got. So tell me briefly, for anybody who's interested, like talk briefly about what that offer is. So I guess you mentioned the company name. How much is it? Is it in person? Just briefly talk about what that offer is that you actually got so far.
Mhm. Yeah, so with that like process, I was able to get like a referral for that company because I like knew someone that worked there, and then like I had like a quick call with like the HR recruiter, and then like I had a 30-minute call with like one of the engineering managers, and like he was really chill. He basically told me like within the interview itself that I got the offer. Um so then like that was on like a Friday. And then later that same day, the recruiter called me, told me I got the offer, and then Monday sent over the actual email, right? So the pay is like $27 an hour, and I think it's like hybrid. So it's like 20 minutes away from like where I live or like even like from campus. So yeah, local. It's a pretty small insurance company. Um the manager who I interviewed with is like the guy I'd be working directly under. So he talked about sort of like again, I mean it's an insurance company, so like most of the work itself is not like super innovative, but he talked about, that I had some like experience with like learning about AI and that sort of stuff. So he's like, yeah, maybe we can see about like creating a project for you where we get to like use AI and like automating our processes or that sort of thing. So like that could be a project I work on. So like overall, it seems like a really like friendly environment, but like obviously I'm still waiting on a lot of these like bigger companies. So which is why I'm still like waiting on how to proceed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, again, congratulations. That's an offer. I mean, I definitely understand you're waiting for multiple other companies. You want to see how far you can push it, but still 27 an hour, that's still like a $9 boost from where you were before, which does play out over the summer. So definitely congratulations there. And final question before we just jump into just answering any questions you have about like what to do regarding offers is I guess what would you say to someone who is on the fence about the accelerator, similar position to you, so like similar university, similar background, similar internship, they kind of want to lock in, but they're like, I'm wondering, like, is this program worth it? What would you say to them? And then I guess would you say that the program was worth it over the few months that you were involved?
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth it. I'd say like again, when I was like deciding and like on the fence on whether I wanted to do it or not, I think like the main thing was just that like um I think like again like having like the guaranteed like refund if you don't get an offer, plus like just like again investing in like your long-term career. So obviously like getting an internship um, will then like help you. Like you can either get a return offer there or like even like go to even better company the next summer or next year once you graduate. So like I think making that investment of like like a couple thousand was like ultimately worth it just because like oh like it helped me like get more confident interviewing itself or like whatever someone needs help with when they're coming to this program. I think yeah, just like would help a lot with like just becoming more comfortable and confident in what you're doing when it comes to the application process and interview process. And then like yeah, obviously like I mean yeah, all it takes is like one good offer to sort of like jumpstart your career.
Awesome. Great to hear, man. Thank you for the interview. That means a lot to me and definitely like great for anybody who's interested in the program.